This is video from the Los Angeles National Forest. It's in the mountains east of Los Angeles, and flames are being driven by winds as high as 80 kilometers an hour. Fire officials say this wildfire, the Post Fire, has burned more than 60 square kilometers of grassland since Saturday afternoon, and so far about 1,200 people are out of their homes. Steve Futterman is live with us from Los Angeles this morning. Boy, this is a fire, Steve, that's covered a lot of ground just in the last 24 hours or so. So bring us up to speed. What is happening so far this morning?
Well, this morning they're just getting ready to attack the fire again, both on the ground and, if they can, from the air. But these gusty winds, which have been up to, at times, the gusts have been up to 100 kilometers an hour, really making it difficult to fight it from the air. But they're doing their best. It's called the Post Fire, as you mentioned, around 100 kilometers from downtown Los Angeles, northeast of downtown L.A. It began, we believe, Saturday afternoon, a small spark. Someone reported it, and it has just spread like crazy. The winds, of course, lots of very, very difficult conditions for firefighters. Craig Little is with the LA County Fire Department. He explains what's happening now.
The wind has been a major factor, along with the dry fuels, along with the terrain. That's all the recipe for a very quickly moving flame. This is a very dynamic situation. Winds will change and change direction, and you'll see smoke going one way at one point, and then an hour later it could be in another direction. So it's a very dynamic situation.
You heard him, Heather, talk about a recipe for a very bad situation. That's what they have right now. Now, the conditions have been difficult, very high temperatures, summer temperatures already. Now, there was a McDonald's that had to be rapidly evacuated by people. There was a campground with around 1,200 people that they were forced to leave. An auto body plant, it was completely destroyed. The cars there engulfed in flames. Now, this fire right now, unfortunately, only 2% contained.
Steve, we've talked so often over the years. You've done so much reporting on wildfires during the long drought in the Los Angeles area. But this winter, this past winter, was a rainy one. So does that create any new kinds of concerns or worries about the type of fire season that might be ahead?
Yeah, well, absolutely. You know, they like the rain here because of the drought, but there's a downside to that. The downside is when you have heavy rains, there's a lot of grassland that grows. And when the heat comes, which it's been the last couple of months, that grassland dries up. So you have lots of fuel, as they call it, in these hillsides right now. So it's really going to be a very, very difficult summer. Some say the fires coming at this time, relatively early for the fire season, really portends a very difficult summer ahead. You have lots of grassland, lots of fuel in the mountains, lots of dry fuel in the mountains. You're going to have the winds. And of course, climate change has made almost every fire, major wildfire we've seen in the last few years, much more aggressive, much more unpredictable. So fire crews, these scientists who are part of the fire teams, they're having to learn how to fight a new kind of fire. So it's not a very pretty sight. Obviously, we have to wait and see how bad it's going to be this summer. But right now, many forecasters say this could be a very, very difficult summer and fall. The fires here, of course, extend into fall. Could be a very difficult few months for people in not just Southern California, but all of California.
Steve, thank you. Appreciate this as always. And we'll check back as we watch the Post Fire with you. Steve Futterman, live in Los Angeles.